Jodan Sancho loan transfer to Manchester to Borussia Dortmund is progressing well, and it's like 90% loading. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where you're watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, subscribe guys. Continue to subscribe because we want to hit 17,000 subscribers before the end of this month, that is January, and let's continue to move on into the right direction. Then we are going to discuss about what is really acting as a very huge block, stopping this transfer from happening right now. But a lot has been said today about Jodan Sancho, and let's thank the God for the gift of life in my country. A certain pastor has been shot, but his driver is dead. The pastor is still alive. That is it. So let's obviously go on and really bring you what is happening here. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and let's start it off from Jodan Sancho. I won't go back to what led us to this, but I know that you guys know exactly what is happening in the country. As far as Jodan Sancho synopsis of this scenario that's going to lead him to obviously be linked to Borussia Dortmund. Very many teams have been really linked to him: Juventus, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur, and very many others. But it looks like this deal to Borussia Dortmund is obviously gaining momentum. Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund are now actively working on a 6-month loan deal for Jodan Sancho. Sancho is eager to return to Borussia Dortmund. Plate Goal was the first person to break this story in the morning. He works for Sky Germany, and he broke the story that Jodan Sancho is eager to return to Borussia Dortmund down in Germany. Then the talks between Borussia Dortmund and Man United for a loan deal of Jodan Sancho are very concrete and are nearing completion. He is already expected to be in Dortmund training camp this week. So looks like everything is gaining momentum, and he's working to obviously go to where everyone really wants him to be, because he fell out with Erik ten Hag, and it's expected that he's gonna be in the training camp of Borussia Dortmund this week. That is Christian Volk, head of football sports Build Germany and Build Sport, all that in Germany, and he knows a lot as far as that is concerned. And looking like if it's nearing completion, that is really great, and I'm really excited to see to it that Jodan Sancho is going to be playing football for the next 6 months. Then he added and said Borussia Dortmund will pay a loan fee for Jodan Sancho, with Man United paying a part of his salary. Now, this is the hugest point that we need not to obviously bypass. Now, if you're paying a loan fee for Jodan Sancho, I think it's going to be like 6 million euros from Borussia Dortmund for Jodan Sancho, and that 6 million euros will help us as far as acquiring a center forward or a defender is really concerned. We know that United are in for Girassi, and he costs only 17 million euros. Now, if at all you can get 6-7 million euros from Borussia Dortmund as far as Jodan Sancho is concerned, and then you see to it that you get his salary, and they agree to obviously pay half of the salary, that will obviously help United save, because Jodan Sancho has been earning £350,000 a week. That is 1.4 million pounds a month. You divide it by 2, that means United will be saving £700,000 a month. Times 6, that is 4.2. Added to the 6, that is like 10 million pounds. Then we'll look for some other money from other players that United are going to move on, and very many others. We all know that Donny van Beek is also going to hate to go, and his salary is going to be cut a bit. Anton Martial might leave, and if at all Anton Martial leaves on a free, that means United would have gone ahead to save 6 million pounds again. When you add the amount of money United is having from those 3 players, that is 17 million euros that will help United get in Girassi. And I really like Girassi to come inside the club of Man United as a senior striker to help offload that burden onto Rasmus Højlund. I believe if Rasmus Højlund really has another striker that can come through and really take off that burden of really being looked at, then he can score even more goals for the club of Manchester United. So that is all what we are getting from Germany. I'm bringing you these events as to how they really occurred and how everything really panned out. Then David Austin, very credible journalist, came up and really told us the following: that it remains to be seen what proportion of salary Borussia Dortmund are willing to cover for a loan of Jodan Sancho. Talks are ongoing. So he also confirms to us that talks of Jodan Sancho to Borussia Dortmund are on, and Man United are really on to them. And the big question is, how much is really gonna be put up, for the guy known as Jodan Sancho, and the salary that United is willing to pay and Borussia Dortmund pay, meaning that it's really a huge block. And David Austin confirming that, it shows you that United are really considering this to happen. But if you're Manchester United, you have to look out for the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture of this transfer? I think the bigger picture of this loan is to get Jodan Sancho up and running at Borussia Dortmund, get back to the levels that's supposed to be, and we get some 50 or 60 million pounds from him. If he goes to the Bundesliga and really puts in a very good performance this season, we'll see to it that Sancho will get United 60 or 70 million pounds. That is it. Or maybe the board of Man United will have to sit with Jodan Sancho and tell him, you apologize to Erik ten Hag. That is it. But I think the biggest decision that United are going to make is that Sancho is gonna be let to leave the club of Manchester United, and we would be happy if at all we get in some huge money, especially in the summer transfer window, to see to it that we get in a player that can really help us blossom this squad. For example, if you sell Sancho for 50 million pounds, that means you can get in other players. If you want to strengthen your midfield, defense, center forward, depending on how you want, obviously, to go in and really get this deal done and dusted. So that's exactly what is happening at the club of Manchester United, and Jodan Sancho is really one of those players that is returning back to where he came in from. And as David Austin has told us that it remains to be seen what proportion of salary Borussia Dortmund are willing to cover. No sooner had he said that, then Paul Hurst, he's a reporter or correspondent for Man United at the Times, he has come out and really told us the following, that Borussia Dortmund have offered to pay around a third of Jodan Sancho's wages as part of their loan deal. So they are not willing to pay half, because half is £175,000 a week, meaning that if they're willing to pay a third of that, I think they are willing to go north of £100,000 a week. That's what they are willing to pay for Jodan Sancho. And if I'm United, they allow it to come in through, because when it comes in through, that means we'd have gone ahead to save £100,000 per week. You multiply it by 4, that is £400,000 a month, 2.6 almost million pounds being saved, and the players gone ahead to get enough playing time, and maybe Mosutas are going to come in through, because the biggest thing that we want to start money to happen is offloading these players. Players that don't have the right mentality to play for the club of Man United should really leave the club of Manchester United and really go elsewhere, because this club is what it is because of its mentality. We knew those players that were really playing in for the club of Manchester United that went ahead to win. Even though they came in young, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, David Beckham, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Ryan Giggs, even though they came in young, they had a mentality. Even those that Sir Alex Ferguson got ahead to sign at the club of Man United had a very good mentality. For example, Eric Cantona, Peter Schmeichel, Jaap Stam. So all those players, Diego Forlan Collins, Wayne Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, they had a very huge mentality shift, and they really took us to where we deserve to be. So the best thing in the game of football, however talented you are, your mentality matters a lot. And for us, as the fans of Man United, all you want to see is that go get Sancho playing time, and he will obviously be where we deserve him to be at the club of Man United, and increase his value, and we get more out of him. Remember, when Jodan Sancho was at Man United in the summer, Spurs knocked on the door and they had made a bid of £50 million. Ten Hag said, no, I'm not selling you because I see a lot in you, and he never really sold him. That is it. So that is it for Jodan Sancho. But the other huge positive we've gone ahead to see is that we've gone ahead to do these loan deals early. Donny van Beek announcing yesterday that he's now a player of the side called Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany on loan. Then Sancho is another one that is really doing the needful for the club of Manchester United, meaning that if Sancho can get us like £50 million and Donovan Big gets us like 10 million pounds, that will be 60 million pounds on the table, right? For the club of Manchester United. It won't be a bad deal to be negotiated down there, and me as a fan of United, I'm eagerly waiting to see it that Jodan Sancho also moves out first this week to be training with Borussia Dortmund as they prepare for the return of the Bundesliga. So wait and see how many other players are going to leave. Anton Martial is on the verge of leaving. Is Varane going to leave? That and all more into the next stories that we get about this. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and we thank God for the gift of life. And we're here to obviously hear out your thoughts onto Sancho to Borussia Dortmund nearing completion in the next days. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. I think we're left with one more video coming in through the next 2 hours. Put yourself here, keep yourself in the know, and everything will go on as planned. We sign out for now. See you when you see me. Guys, I love you and thank you for being part of this channel, but don't forget to subscribe, and after subscribing, hit the notification bell that will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. We out.